are just dreams.
Come on.
And ultimately, they fuel disappointment.
Exactly.
On the road to achieving your dreams, you must apply discipline,
Come
but
on.
more importantly, consistency. Because without commitment, you'll never start. But without consistency, you'll never finish.
What's going on, y'all? Text Podcast Summit to 33777.
And that's right. And be at Midtown Tech Hive, 6 p.m., April 18th. See you there.
See y'all there. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Pull-Up Experience. We have another great edition for y'all today. We got episode 198, y'all, with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Colin Jackson. El Presidente.
What's happening,
What's
man?
going on, man?
Good to be with y'all.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
And we got my girl Brittany with us, and we got
y'all.
Steve,
Yes.
the greatest in the world.
Okay.
And y'all know who I am or whatnot. And we got just an amazing episode with us tonight. And I'm glad that episode because I know this man is an amalgam of just gems on top of gems he's about to be dropping. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But so at the Pull-Up Experience, let's start from the beginning, bro.
Yeah.
You Shaker alumni, y'all are deep.
Yeah. We real.
Y'all
We real.
Yeah.
Nothing like a Red Raider.
I see. So I'm gonna ask you represent your hood. We already know.
We
You
know
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I gotta give y'all props. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Like I gotta ask this. Like, was entrepreneurship taught at Shaker or just something like what's in the water in Shaker Heights? Because like so many entrepreneurs we know, Asia, y'all seen Coach K last episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so is this something that was inculcated in y'all, or just like y'all just got there like we gonna do this thing?
Oh man, let me mute my phone. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, you good?
So look, I'll say Shaker. Yeah, there was a class, but overall, Shaker is like, I would describe it like a liberal arts college of high schools, right? So what we know about entrepreneurship is that as an entrepreneur, you're not just one thing.
That's right.
Wow.
You make something, you do something, but then you also do all the other things that are involved. So Shaker was a place that allowed you to try everything. We had a wonderful newspaper. I was an editor of the newspaper, but then we also had things for art and theater and of course, we had good mathematics and all those types of things. So I think what Shaker is unique is that it allowed you to be as creative as you want to and not get caught up in one lane, right?
Okay.
So I think that's what kind of incubates that entrepreneur spirit. And when people get out here in the real world, they just do what they've always known.
Yeah, no, listen. Like I said, because it's so amazing because, once again, you get a chance to sit down with yourself and all the great people. Like, where'd you go? Shaker. I'm like, what is going on? And I love the fact, basically, like, you get a chance to explore who you are, and out of that, it bursts the business.
Absolutely.
The credit things you guys are doing. So, no, shout out to Shaker.
And we support each other. That's the other part.
Come on now.
That's the other part. That's the other part. You know, how I met you was through a Shaker alumni.
Shout out to Asia.
Shout out to Asia, supporting her business. So that's another big part of why I think it allows us all to be entrepreneurs because we stay together, we support each other, and that makes it easier in this really hard thing we call being an entrepreneur.
No. So yeah, like I said, we get a chance to get a little sneak. We want to do an expose on Shaker Heights sites.
Man, I got you.
Y'all deep.
Y'all are.
Yeah. So, but I'm gonna talk about your journey overall. So let's talk about. So I heard you say you were editor. So college, like when? So let me ask you this: where would you say entrepreneur? Because you're and now I want to talk about the fact you're a legacy entrepreneur. So entrepreneurship is in the family.
Yeah.
You know. So let's talk about that. Like, were you one of those kids like? I don't want to get in the family business. I want to do my own thing. Were you groomed for that?
The way I would say and why I use the term legacy entrepreneur is that I didn't really have a choice. And this is what I think our community needs to do more of. You know, we talk about Black Wall Street, we talk about Black wealth so often. Why we lost a lot of that, besides what was taken from us, was that the next generation didn't pick up the drugstore. So from a very young age, my dad really understood that. So we had heating and cooling companies, a jean store, car wash, apartment buildings, powder coating companies for mechanisms. What else do we have? Extermination company, the vending machine companies. All of these things I grew up working in. But not like working like the movie Car Wash where the boss's son comes in, he gets to be in charge. No, I was the tire shine boy. When we were on the landscaping crew, I was the guy pushing the manure up and down. I was the mulch guy. So those type of things have always just kind of been instilled in me. And, you know, I think it's something that just always was in my spirit.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of trained for it. And then now, you know, I don't want to get too far ahead, but now it was more about, look, I've done things outside of the family business. This is my chance to come back and feed back into something that did so much for me.
Yeah, we'll get into that because I would love to hear about the experience you have doing in other industries or in different fields, and you're able to take those skill sets and those talents and bring it to the business overall.
Absolutely,
So, yeah.
absolutely.
So, okay, so let me ask you this. So you graduate from high school, you go to college. When would you say you were like, okay, this is what I want to do for right now? Because you knew you were going to come back to the family business, but then you're like, okay, I want to do this in the meantime. Like, how did that go about?
Yeah. So I would say that I went to University of Kentucky.
Okay.
And I got a little bit involved in some political science stuff. In my economics degree, I interned for a senator in college.
Okay.
So that sent me on a journey of 10 years in politics. But I think I decided I wanted to come back probably within the last 2 or 3 years. And it was really about family. It was about a word that we use a little bit too often, but we need to talk about even more: legacy.
Okay.
We talk about the quite a bit here.
Yeah, you know, it was about feeding back into the legacy and keeping it going. You know, there are not a lot of black manufacturers in this
That's a fact.
region. So that's not something that I want to let go by the wayside. So yeah, that's kind of how that went.
Yeah. Okay. And then like I said, I just love the fact that, because I know my kids, they be mad when I'm like, when they hear for the summertime, I'm like, come on with your dad to the podcast or whatnot. They don't want to come. I'm like, well, just see how daddy doing. See why I take the time I do to do it, so you can see what all I do or whatnot. And I feel like it's important for them to see that, even though they might not know the importance of it. But like you said, you remember those days.
Oh my gosh, I remember sitting in business meetings. So my dad was a high value consultant in corporate America for 25 years. And he would come in town on Friday and Saturday and take his Saturday's meetings. And I would be sitting there with my Game Boy and while he's doing, you know, his accounting stuff. And he made me put the Game Boy down and pay attention.
Wow.
And so you're right. They will remember those things. And those are the kind of things that once they get out into the workforce, and like for me, once I got into politics and actually working as a professional, my bosses would always comment, Colin, you work so hard, you figure this out, you're good in these environments, why are you like this? And I was like, I actually don't know. And then I had to think about it. I was like, oh, it's because I had to work the register at genealogy. It's because I had to do stock for the vending machine businesses. It's because I've had to practice all these tools. Now, I went kicking and screaming sometimes. And I got fired a few times. That wasn't the easiest. But, you know, those are the things that you carry with you. And then once they pop up in your life, you realize, I'm glad my dad did that. So keep pushing your kids to show up.
I appreciate that comment, because now I'm going to be like, I'm double time on it now. I'm like, you getting your butt out that bed. You come on.
Yeah.
Like, no question.
That's right.
Okay, let me ask you this. So, I want to talk about your presidency. Let's talk about the Urban League, because when you came back to Cleveland, like, how did that come about, bro? Because, like, when I met you, like, this will give me on social media, right? Because, like, I see you on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And then we were at Career Space. I'm like, oh, I know him or whatnot, right? It's like, but it was different because, like, you see you in all your presidency or whatnot, but then seeing in person, like, he's down to earth brother, whatnot.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Like, how did that come about, man? Because Urban League, like, that's major business right there, man.
Yeah. It's definitely an honor to serve one on the board of the Urban League and as the president of the YPs. you know, for me, that came about actually just being on the campaign trail. So again, things you don't know. My dad had gotten probably 4 or 5 awards from the Urban League back in the early '90s. I had no idea. And I'm on the campaign trail, and I'm running into all these people, and they keep talking about the Urban League. I'm like, what's going on with the Urban League? I went to 2 events, started moving some chairs. Next thing you know, I'm signing up, and now I'm critically involved. But the Urban League as a whole, for anybody who's not familiar, is a one-stop shop for all your business needs. For anything that can improve or empower lives, the Urban League has it. Whether you're talking about education and youth development, which is things like My Brother's Keeper. We're one of the only registered My Brother's Keeper programs in the state of Ohio. That's that Barack Obama program where they actually do mentoring. Those kids are actually right now leaving for a HBCU tour. We have workforce development. So if you have people in your family that maybe want to upskill, get into IT, healthcare, we have programs like the Construction Accelerator, which will actually put you in a program to take you from being the lowest guy on the construction team on the site to the highest. We house the Minority Business Assistance Center as well as the Small Business Assistance Center. So anything from getting your LLC started to getting your MBE certification or your EDGE certification or your vet.
This is a great time in Cleveland tonight, and I think what we look at is black excellence on display right now.
I feel blessed. From the moment I walked in the door, I heard Mr. Whedon and congratulations and everything. Now all the way up to upstairs, same thing, man. It's a blessing.
I am feeling really grateful, very blessed. It's just an amazing experience to be able to be in the room with so many amazing people and people that are game changers and world changers. That's breaking bread and making businesses in Cleveland, Ohio.
This is a night for the books for not only Cleveland but Ohio. I'm so proud of Tenora.
We have that, and then the last part, which we're most excited about, which is our newest element to Urban League and very unique even across other urban leagues in the country. We have UBIZ, and that is literally a venture capital program housed within the Urban League. Through bank relationships, they're able to get you better rates, more cash, and then they'll also assist you in making sure that you have those wraparound services for you to be successful. So the Urban League is really a underutilized resource, and we talk about civil rights organizations because that's what the Urban League kind of was at the beginning, right? Right. Like,
that's what I was.
Yeah. So there's NAACP and there's Urban League. The way I tell people, NAACP is if someone did you wrong and you got to sue them, and we'll get our rights. But the Urban League is the empowerment part. The Urban League is where we go to gain wealth, knowledge, and support. And oftentimes those two things work together because, again, full circle, I ran into them in politics because these people had the influence. They had the dollars. They could put the votes together. They owned their own property and things, so they had leverage. And often our community does not have leverage. So me being at the Urban League is just really about getting our people that leverage, empowering these individuals, because I'm a person who believes that nobody's coming to save us. Nobody's coming to save us, so we gotta do it for ourselves. And I believe the Urban League is a great vehicle to make that happen.
So let me, absolutely. So I want to ask about how do you become president though, bro? Because like that's one thing. It's one thing to be involved, but another to be the one in charge of.
So I'm president of the YPs. I'm on the board though. So that becoming president of the YPs it's about putting the time in. To be honest with you, you have to get a lot of support from our CEO Marshall Maccabee, who's absolutely wonderful. But just knowing that you're dedicated to the mission, A lot of people join boards and join organizations to put something else on their resume.
Right, yeah.
For me, I want to know who I helped.
Come on
me,
now.
I want to know.
I'm sorry, I don't like this thing up all day.
No, I want to know who I helped. I want to create a network. I said this at our join week we had in February. Look, there's 40 of us in this room. I want to make it 50. We're all between the ages of 25 and 40, right? If we can all stay together and work together for the next 30 years, imagine what kind of impact we can have, not just on our individual pocketbooks, but the well-being of this entire city. Because every other group is doing it. Washington.
Come on now.
This is about that dedication.
No, and once again, like you schooling me because, like I said, I know early in those things to be more, like I said, political, and I didn't know what all you can develop within the early league. So thank you for educating.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, absolutely, and I know.
And all that stuff's free too. My bad, I forgot to say that. like, you know, there's a lot of people out here in the city who charge for all that stuff, but the Urban League is literally offering it free.
Free. All right. No, listen. So ain't no excuse now.
That's right.
No, it's not. It's not. ulcleveland.org. You know, get on there and find those programs.
Wow.
And then once again, I know that there are Urban Leagues across the nation and whatnot.
Yeah.
How often do you guys get together to how? I know there's a national agenda, but then you guys have specific agendas you guys want to cover in each city or whatever. Like, how's that work?
Yeah. So our national CEO Mark Morales is actually the president and CEO of the National Urban League. We have conference once a year. Last year it was in Houston. This year it's in New Orleans in a couple weeks. And in 2025, I don't know if you know this, the national conference will be here in Cleveland.
Oh, okay. I got to join up now.
Oh, absolutely, man. And so, yeah, we have a national agenda, but again, everything we do has to be based on who we're serving.
Okay.
So the needs of Houston aren't the same as the needs of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, we have different points, and if it falls into a bucket, we do it. Like one of them is health. So, you know, here it may be a minority men's health fair. Some other place it may be a blood drive, you know, things like that. So we have a national agenda, but everything is very much curated to where we are and whatever population we're serving.
Okay, that's good. Because once again, I'll go ask it because like I know for a fact the issues that are happening in some other places ain't the same here in Cleveland.
For sure.
And I just love the fact that you guys are aware of that. It's not just one size fit all type of deal.
For sure.
Yeah. So my next question to you, bro, is how do you balance it all? Because you are an entrepreneur. You lead in an organization, and then you have a family.
Yeah.
How do you balance all that, man?
Man, on a day to day, sometimes I don't feel like I'm doing the best. I'm not, and that's okay. And that's okay. My wife reminds me of what's important often. You know, I tell people all the time, finding the right partner determines your progress.
That was the part of the mission right there.
Like, you know, and I've been very blessed to find a partner who not only pushes me, but encourages me.
That's awesome.
And tells me when I'm wrong, and when I'm not going as hard as I can.
Come on now.
So my wife is a big part of how I balance it all, and I have my bad days, you know. I'll double, triple book. I
know that.
I'll have 2 suits in the car. So you know, I'll be pumping water out of the parking lot at the box plant, and then try to put a suit on and make 2 meetings downtown. And my wife has to tell me, you can't do all of that. So it's a balancing act, but you know, it's about priorities and what you find important.
Yeah.
Listen, for me, getting home and seeing my daughter and my wife, that's a priority for me. And you know, in the other field I was in politics, it was really hard to do that. Because day to day, you're just running all day. If the phone rings at 3 a.m. on your candidate, you got to answer. And that's not a particular way to be a good family person. So the balance it's a balancing act, and every day is different.
Yeah.
Every day is different.
Oh, I got you.
And keeping a little faith doesn't hurt either.
Come on now. Yeah, it's Sunday, so.
That's right.
Colin,
You know.
preaching.
Yeah.
No, and I love how you said that, bro, because I know that all too well. The person you choose can either hinder you,
Yep.
or help level you up. And I think that a lot of us don't understand the support system of who we have around us makes all the difference. And who we have in your corner, you know,
It matters.
it matters.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So okay. So we talked about past. So let's talk about the future, my friend. What does the future hold for you?
Man, like I said, I have a 4-month-old, so
God bless you, man.
yeah.
God
So my future, I think, is just really attached to making her future brighter, right? And figuring out what I need to do to place myself and place her in situations for her to be successful. I have a lot of appreciation for both of my parents, and the things I was able to be exposed to. You know, as we talked about growing up in Shaker and going to those schools, that doesn't happen by accident.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a major benefit to that. So I want to establish her as much as I've been established, and I think that's what my future really holds. You know, I'm now just about a year and a half in. Got the box company running pretty good. Our telecommunications at Mac installation, where we install internet into schools and universities. That's doing pretty well.
So what? Tell me, bro. You mean to tell me you're a serial entrepreneur?
Right, because
I know I know the box. Yeah, I didn't know about.
Yeah. So I'm a customer and supplier service manager over at the other company as well. So, so I'm vice president of government relations at Elson's, and then that other position at Mac Telecommunications.
I'm not doing enough.
Look, my paycheck doesn't say I'm doing enough either, but you know, I'm trying.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got those things kind of where I want them. So I'm actually in the process of actually working with the Urban League and establishing my own private consulting company to help businesses and nonprofits to establish themselves and to engage in the community. So my future is really, you know, probably gonna be doing a lot of what my dad and my mom did for me. Baby girl, this everything I got going on. You are involved in all of this. You are involved in all of this. Whatever resource you want, whatever you want to do, you have the opportunity to do that. So that's what I think my future is, and also loving my beautiful wife. That's a big thing, you know.
I love it, and I know we talked off camera about this or whatnot, but just how you talked about earlier, you know, find the right partner or whatnot. And I mean, we be like, man, it's hard on these streets, you know.
Nah, look, and it doesn't always work. You know, our friends make fun of us. They so my wife, beautiful black woman, and long, luscious locks. So our friends make fun of us and say that we're Maxine and from
Kyle,
living Kyle Barker, right? They make fun of us, and it's funny because she is also a lawyer. But when I tell you, my wife is a boss. My wife is a boss. She was maybe 3rd or 4th in line at the public defender's office for about 7 years. She went to be a federal public defender for the Fed. She did that for a year or two.
Wow.
And now she is professor of...
Okay, sure.
Oh, no, it gets better. Professor of a law clinic that actually works to get people's pardons and expungements done from free right there at Cleveland State.
Wow.
So now she's full Annalise Keating from I met her students the other day, and I love going to events and seeing her get awards and all that stuff. So you know, I married someone who was probably more of a boss than I am, and that is a real motivator. Now, she is opinionated. She is a strong woman, right? But you need that. You need that to continue push you, and we push each other, but we also support each other. So
that's good.
But the thing I'll say about that whole thing is I wasn't looking for it.
Oh, time out. Let me hit that one time.
I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for
That's
it.
how it happened, though,
It
right?
do seem to happen like that. The ones that really stand the test of times. When you wasn't looking for
I wasn't looking for my buddy. Actually, one of my buddies, he's actually also in politics, and his now wife, is also a lawyer. But they had a game night as one of their first. Hey man, meet your friends, meet my friends, and they called me over. And I was like, yeah man, I'll go. I pulled up, and I was just so taken back by my wife and how pretty she was, and her locks, and then she could talk. And I was like, oh my God, you can talk. Like,
intellectual
It's a bonus on top of all that.
Like, so I mean, literally right there, I turned around in the seat, and I think about it, because she had actually dated the guy who made my custom bow ties. I had never met him. So I turned around in my seat just like this and said, well, do you really like those bow ties that much? And that was it. And that was it.
I think you got the answer to that.
Yeah, I turned around, I was like, yep, it's over. That was pandemic happened, we were locked down together, and then on the other side of that, we got engaged. And it's been almost 2 years now.
Oh, so congrats
But
to you guys.
yeah, so I wasn't looking. She found me. Or we found each other.
Listen, now that inspired me. I'm being
stories
grocery
like that.
store,
Give us hope.
running, bumping
Give us
in the
hope.
carts. Like, hey, girl, hey.
That's it. Just like that.
No, that's
like
good,
that.
man. So let me ask you this: what do you feel like the biggest misconception people have with being an entrepreneur, bro? In your opinion?
That if you own the business or you own whatever it is and you have employees, that you got all the money in the room in the back and you just don't want to give it to the employees.
You Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, like you Scrooge McDuck. That's the biggest thing. I think people think that, oh, I own a business, so I'm gonna have a lot of money. Nah, the first thing I learned being around entrepreneurship and growing up in it is that you get paid last. You get paid last. You get it, and if you want your business to grow, you're gonna get paid last and less.
Yeah.
So I think people are like, oh, I want to have a business. No, you don't, man. Sometimes it's more than the job. It's more hours to the job. It's more stress to the job.
Oh, I know.
And you don't really see the benefit of it on a day to day. But for me and what I consider having businesses and being an entrepreneur is, who you get to support in your employees. I think it's something like 80% of businesses, black businesses in America, have less than 3 employees. So, I think that if we're going to try to take care of each other, we need to be able to grow our businesses and have as many employees as possible. And that means keeping your business healthy, getting your business to grow and making it sustainable.
Come on. That's good right there. And I feel like this, when you start a business, it's like building equity, right?
Tired of carrying that load? Drop the house. Gutter Properties will buy your house as is with offers up to $300,000. Need serious repairs, liens, taxes, or judgments? We'll work through your unique situation to get that house off your back. During your free, no-obligation appraisal, we maintain social distancing and take every precaution to ensure your experience is safe. Drop the house. Gutter Properties. Call us or visit gutterproperties.com.
Sit off top. But 2, 3, 4 years in a row, like you just building that thing up, and then eventually, you'll be able to put an equity out when need be, right? Because people don't take the factor of payroll, overhead, taxes, all these things. Like you said, you get paid less. Like people like, yo, a podcast, you must be ball control, bro. Are you kidding me?
Distro costs, production,
like,
all that.
All these things cost. Like, and that's and this is what weird thing I love about how people on our podcast. Your purpose is gonna fuel you in the days when you're not making money.
That's right.
Like you think about this is in the long haul. This is what I love doing. This is what fuels me. But at the same time, I'm not making money right now, but I'll make a little eventually one of these days.
For sure. It's tough, man. It's tough. I think that people just want to have a business just to say they have a business, but they don't consider what that really entails. And I just was very blessed to be around my father while he was doing all these things, because I got to see the differences of what people say it is versus what it actually is. And you know, if my dad was here, he would say, man, you can't really learn about running a business from a book.
Wow.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
That's
And
real.
you got to put your own up. You got to make your own risk. You got to take the risk and the reward, right? And I just don't think a lot of people really think about that. And that's why a lot of businesses, I think, fail, you know, in the first year or two.
That's good.
So let me ask this. If there's a young man, young woman watching right now, what words of encouragement would you give them for those who are just starting out with their own business?
Don't quit your job yet. Don't quit your job yet. You know, I'm a bit of a history buff. And so on the plantations, take us back a little bit. On the plantation, you go work that field for the man that owns you. But then at night, you go plot your field behind your cabin, and you till that. Well, whatever you can get from his field, a couple seeds and all the things you learned. And that was how, once, you know, emancipation came, this is why we had so many skilled laborers. Right. And we had all these things built up.
This is the part people just forget, you know?
They do. And so don't quit your job, because there are things you're learning on your job. There are things you're getting on your job. Those are resources, networking that you're getting on your job that will benefit your business. But if you leave too quick, if your cash buildup isn't there, if your safety net not there, and you jump out there too fast, it's all over. It's all over. So don't quit your job, and learn from everything around you. And once you find that moment and you can evaluate it and say this worked, go for it.
I hope y'all listening, because my note, I had the pleasure of editing video, and y'all, what y'all don't know, I have a notebook just of like notes I began from this joint, and I'm probably, don't worry, I'm gonna cut you in or whatnot. I'll publish these joints, these wisdom gems and whatnot. But I literally be like, right now, like, dang, that was good right there, because these are things that, once again, that's why I love podcasts, why I love books, but I love podcasts because you're getting information in real time versus, you know, books are not bad. I got my audio books I listen to on the ride here, but I love podcasts because you're like getting real time information from a person straight from the horse's mouth, right? And like gems like that right there, you know what I'm saying? Like people, they downgrade. Oh, 9 to 5 people, man, please, I'm with you. Use that skill set. You have human resources skills. Use that. Most entrepreneurs, they have horrible human resource skills. You know what I'm saying? Use that skill set and help that entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Be a consultant in that aspect, right?
Yeah. And that's like, so my next venture, that's literally what I did. You know, I was working for candidate after candidate. And then one day I thought about it, and I was like, wait a minute. If I can do all this for you, I could probably do this for myself. And cut you all the way out. So, you know, that's definitely my next move.
Good.
Oh, so
very befitting.
So what time myself? So you mean to tell me you work office one day?
No.
Yeah, exclusive right here.
Listen, no, I can't. You know what? That question gets asked to me a lot, especially like I'm doing a panel for 100 Black Men on April 1st about voting, and you know, after most of my speaking engagements, they ask you, "So when are you going to run?" I'm like, never, because I would tell you, you know. They say if you're not concerned with politics, politics is going to be concerned with you. I would tell you that politics is ugly on the inside. It is ugly on the inside, and you know, I don't necessarily want to be in that position, and I also want to give up my family life like that. So I'll consult. I'll get all your imagery, your messages.
We'll talk out the words, because I want to run. You know what I'm saying? Y'all heard it first. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna run.
I got you.
All right. Don't play the color, man. Because listen. I want to turn this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm getting tired of these politicians. We'll talk about. I won't get political on this and whatnot, but I ain't gonna lie to you. It bothers me about what they're doing on this of the American people, and nothing's changing on our end. It's all these things that quote unquote benefit. Yeah. No, I am literally tired of it. Like I feel like if we have all these basketball teams, football teams, why don't we have two political system parties? Like, come on now. Like, we need to. Something has to change. Something literally has to change.
Well, all I would say is that, yeah, the parties could be problematic, but more than anything, we don't have our own candidates. And what I mean that we don't have our own candidates, African Americans are at the bottom of the list when it comes to political giving. So if you, and again, this goes back to resources and empowering and leverage and what we're talking about at the Urban League, when you cannot fund a candidate and then you don't turn up to vote or turn out to vote, why?
That's bad math.
Why are they going to do something for you? Or they're just going to come in, eat fried chicken with you at your dinner table, and then go right back to D.C. I'm sorry.
I'm about to say that was a straight deal.
like you know, they're gonna bring up, or they're gonna come to your church 2 weeks before their election and patrons tell you all they're gonna do all these things, and they're gonna go back to their actual donors, to their actual constituencies who actually vote. Like the oh my gosh, I might get a little. I don't know how to say this.
The other people.
The other side of Cleveland, right? To go back to West Park and talk to that constituency and actually get the things done. Yeah. So if you're considering being a candidate, I would say consider who your constituency is and can they support you. Because the worst thing is to be up there and not be able to do anything for the people that you said you were going to do it for.
That is so good.
Yeah.
So I'm taking notes when I run, you know.
Just call me, man. Just call me. Just call me.
Hey, listen, because that's good. No. I honestly, and I know I was joking before, but I'm so serious about the fact we need some change. We do. Yeah. And I feel like the reason why we have a low turnout because no one can literally be like comprehend in their mind like, why am I voting for this person? They're not gonna do anything. So like, why vote at all? Because the person I'm voting for is not gonna make a change on my part. You know what I'm saying? It's discouraging, right?
Absolutely.
So how we change that? I'm gonna run. You know what I'm saying? So y'all wait for that. We're gonna be accountable.
No. And the last thing I'll say about turnout, you know, this last race we just had a primary was 20% turnout.
20%?
20% turnout in Cuyahoga County, 11% in the city of Cleveland.
Wow.
But I have to remind people, and I have to remind my candidates about this all the time when they're talking about getting people out to vote. 66% of the city of Cleveland is functionally illiterate.
Wait, time out. Seriously? Wow.
It is function, and that doesn't mean I can't read at all. It just means that if I need to read something like a candidate mailer, for example, I'm probably not going to read that. So
how do you combat that though?
So and that's where messaging comes in. That's where meeting people where they are. That's really changing again people's fundamental position in life. Right. So before we can have active electorate, we have to have an educated electorate, and you know that has so many facets to it. Yeah, so it's tough, man. Politics is a tough business. It's tough business.
Man, listen, TikTok, leverage their social media. Man.
Hey, look, listen, you got to do it. I mean, and again, when you talk about who can read and who's reading newspapers and articles, that's why social media becomes so important to these candidates. Yeah. That's why Glorilla went to the White House.
We gonna mess around. We gonna cancel it if we.
I'm sorry. All right, keep going. No, keep going.
It's like no, it bothers me because then you will not see this stuff happen the 3 years prior, leading up after the election. When re-election comes around, guess what they're doing? Patronizing the hell out of us. Yeah. When has Glorilla been any at the White House the other day? No. Right. And when the hell was he eating chicken before this? These are the things that bother me so much because And don't get me started when you said you're not black, you don't vote for me. That really messed me up because I'm like, who has the audacity to say something on a platform that's primarily us and tell us that, and we still voted for the man. And this once again, this is the thing that burns me up because it's like the lesser two evils. You're like, well, I got this person over here, one person over here. It's like, come on now. And then don't get me started on local elections because forget the presidency.
Local is real.
Yeah, local is real. Right. You know what I'm saying? And the last one where had everyone filled up was unfortunately Bashir and Bib. You know what I'm saying? And that turned into Hood versus Heights real fast. And now, and not saying that was anything good for me, but I would say that. Because if you're literate or not, you felt the way about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I feel like you get people. You like, hey.
Oh, you're talking about the dude who's from down the way?
Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, like, you know. So, Son's got a chance. That's all I'm saying about the aspect. And, like, I know I joke around, but, like, I will back anybody who's about that change.
Absolutely.
As millennials, I just feel like we're at a stage where boomers are retiring, getting too old. Gen X is like, well, whatever, and then we the ones like we are fed up with this. We like we gotta do something different. And I am
boisterous.
I'm raising my hand. You know, hey, what can we do to do that?
And to your point though, all these things that we're talking about right now are connected. Those politics are connected to those economics. Those economics are connected to that education. That education is connected to this family. This is all one big cycle. But I think oftentimes people try to fix just one part. So, Brandon, you're a great person to be thinking about running because your interests lie in other places, right? And it's a lot broader. And that, to your point though, is why millennials need to get involved because, again, we have this ability to be involved in multiple parts of the cycle. We want to invest our time there. So it's not just about voting, but it's also about holding people accountable during when they're in offices. You know, and investing in those individuals. But I feel like we're heading towards some type of change.
Absolutely. Now that I got it recorded on the video, I'm going to back it up. So just I'll edit out later.
Yeah, cut all that out.
Cause then I'm like, bro, you running? Like, no, I was joking. But yeah, and I love the fact we can talk about those things. Once again, we see the need for that though.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Colin, because once again, like we don't have to see people talk about politics here. They like, no politics. I'm talking about entrepreneurship, but it's all connected though.
Yeah,
and
you said.
I'll talk to you after camera. But we'll talk about it later. So, okay, let's get into some simple questions, y'all. This is Colin interview. We ain't talking about this. We're talking about Mr. Colin Jackson. Okay? And I wanted to ask you, my friend, from being, you've been to Kentucky, you've been to other places. I have a two-part question. Have you seen the clubber effort more positive other areas versus Cleveland? And you remember from when we interviewed you at Creative Space, how you feel like we changed that narrative of Cleveland not being a collaborative space?
Yeah. So again, you know, I think that perception is everything. Perception is everything. If you talk about Cleveland like it's the worst place in the world, it's gonna be the worst place in the world.
Wow.
And being the age I am, I've seen a lot of my friends who are like, oh, I gotta get out of Cleveland and go someplace else and do the exact same thing. So, you know, I think there's so many facets to why Cleveland is not collaborative, but one of them is just the pride that we have in being from here. So that's number one. Number two, I would say Cleveland is collaborative, but it's also very cliquey.
Yeah.
It's very cliquey. Either you're on a team or you're not. Either these are the people I do business with, these are the people I don't. And I think that, you know, being open, being excited about other people's success, not seeing their success as a stress to against yours, you know, that would do a lot in being collaborative. You know, one of my good buddies, Keenan Williams from NiceCo, he prints T-shirts, and this was the first time I really looked at it. There were people that would come into his shop, ask for something that he doesn't do, and he will refer them to someone else.
Wow.
Right.
See?
Yeah.
We don't do that, and I think it's a black people. That is a symptom of what they did to us to put us in a situation we are. Is that we don't feel like we can collaborate with one another because it's going to take something away from me. And we have to get out of the mindset of scarcity. There's enough money and opportunity out here for all of us, and we can get more of it if we work together. And again, I say this very candidly and with a full throat. Everybody else is doing it. Every other group in America is working together collaboratively.
Yeah.
Every other group has a collective consciousness. A collective consciousness that's saying, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
And you can see those groups making it so far. You know, that they'll come here from wherever they're from, their country or origin, and within 2 or 3 generations, they have doctors and lawyers in their family. From the convenience store where they have everybody working in there, where they're shopping with one another, where they're establishing their own areas within, even within Cleveland.
Yeah.
There are cultural areas that they are building with each other and pushing their culture forward. So either we need to break the mindset that there's not enough of us and we don't have the power, but get in the mindset of being a collaborative collective, because we can achieve more that way.
That was a good answer.
That is such a good answer.
That's such
Great
a
way
good
to break
answer.
it down.
Absolutely. No. 198 episodes. I think the answers keep getting gooder and gooder. You know.
Gooder and gooder.
Gooder
Oh
and
yeah,
gooder,
gooder
yeah.
and gooder. That sounds like a
Absolutely.
movie.
I want to get a shirt that said that too. Don't worry, it's coming.
You need
Yeah.
to, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let me ask you this: who would you like to collaborate with in the future, my friend?
Whew. Who would I like to collaborate with in the future? Let's see. Who makes a lot of boxes? You know. Collaboration presents itself as opportunity, and as more things to get involved with, you know, I'm sure there's more opportunities. But I feel like God brings me everybody I'm supposed to collaborate with.
Come on now, bro.
He brought me my wife. He brought me back to the family business. You know, but one collaboration I'm really hopeful about, at least on the Mac telecommunication side, is with Digital CEO over there and what they're doing to install free internet. I would love to collaborate with them. And anybody who needs cardboard boxes, again, you know, I know a lot of people are making wines and things like that. I'm sure you need some boxes over here. So yeah, I'm open. I'm an open door of opportunity, if that makes sense.
That's
awesome. That's good.
And I love the fact that, you know what I'm saying, like people talk about sexy businesses and whatnot. You make boxes, bro, and that's essential though.
Yeah.
Like people, they look over the essential businesses that are not going anywhere. People don't need boxes forever.
Yeah, man. And Amazon shipping like crazy.
Yeah.
So, you know, and you can make anything sexy. You know, I'm serious. If there's one thing social media has taught us, is that you can work at McDonald's and have 1 million followers just by flipping burgers, and you cut that the right way. So I'm thinking about actually getting a nice little box social media where I'm actually out there making boxes and TikToking it and this, how that, you know. So don't let that deter you, and don't run for the sexy things. You know, you had Kanisha in here. Being a gym owner, that ain't necessarily the most sexy thing. You gotta clean them floors and do all that stuff. You know, Asia the same way. Asia be in there busting it down to create a space.
Yeah.
She be in the kitchen. She does so. You know,
No, podcast ain't sexy at all.
No. It looked nice on the internet.
It does.
It's fun being a guest.
Product,
Yeah.
And then you get to leave, but this is it's work. It's work.
No.
It's all work.
My father used to tell me all the time when I was little, anything worth having is not gonna come easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I believe it. I'll do that to this day. So no, if it's easy, I don't want it.
Yeah, that's true.
You
You won't
get it.
appreciate it as much either.
Exactly.
It's too easy.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Yep. Well, Colin, I mean, it's been a great. Even before we started hitting the
I know, we
record button,
yeah, we should
it was
before.
good. I know.
I felt like I was rambling a little bit.
No, not at all. This was good. So, listen, when it comes to legacy, and again, you still have so much yet, to do, but when that time comes, what would you like the legacy to be for you, and what would you like the legacy to be for all of your businesses? Because I'm sure there'll be more to come. What would you like for that to be?
So I told you guys before we got on camera that my grandfather passed a couple weeks ago, and we had his funeral. And we had talked about this question before, and I thought about it again. But number one, I think we often think of legacy about in the sense of this is what I did, and this is what I want people to remember, right? But we also have to think about legacy in the opposite, the things you didn't do, or the things that you said.
I did that one time. Wow.
The things you didn't do and the choices that you did make, and how that impacts people, right?
That's good.
So me thinking about that, my number one thing that if I had somebody ask, what do you want your legacy to be? I want it to be my family and my daughter.
Come on now, bro.
And I want those two, or maybe we'll get a boy out of this at some point, but those individuals to be a reflection of love, support, determination, and self-confidence.
That's so good.
So that has to be number one. And I think the first time I answered this question, I answered it in a very different, very occupation-based way. And as I think about it, one of the most important things I think that entrepreneurs need to know is that it has to be in that order. Because oftentimes I think people choose one or the other.
Yeah.
And that's not good for personal legacy, right?
Yeah.
So that's my answer there.
That's good.
For my businesses though, and my endeavors, I want it to be that I was a connector, I was a convener, I was a person you can go to and find some resources. My favorite thing is when people email me and say, Colin, I need to get my business started. And I go, no problem. Here's the email to the person at the inback of the Urban League, and they'll get your LLC up in 45 days for free.
Wow.
Like that like I want my legacy to be that I brought people together and I made people's position in life better. I empowered them. So I want to empower them.
That's really good. That's awesome.
No.
All right, and okay, so this one I like to call the challenge question,
I'm down
because Brandon been lighting that thing up because you've been giving us so much impactful information that I'm sure that everyone watching is being blessed by. So now we gotta take what you've given us and kind of bring it on into your top three, basically components of what you would like them to gather from today's episode. So what would those 3 key points be?
3 points, 3 key points.
Bro, you've been hitting them gems.
I don't know. One, your personal life and your relationships will outlive any business you have.
That might be that episode.
It's just important. And for me, that's a big thing. Getting to work with my dad is something that I will always appreciate.
Yeah.
My grandfather and him worked together for 15 years, so I just feel like that's more important than the boxes we're making. And it's not easy all the time, but that's one. 2, you need to decide where you want to have a business or a business. And that, but look, I'm stealing a lot from Andrew Jackson, so I stole that one from you too, Pop. Pop says he talks about something as simple as a business card, and you hand somebody a business card, and you don't. Well, he's an old guy, so he thinks you need physical location. So I'm like, okay, fine, you need a physical location, you need an address, but your email.
A Gmail.
Having a Gmail when you can get a $15 a month Wix account and you can have your own domain. You know, not having all your paperwork together, right? Are you bankable, right? Those are different between businesses and businesses. You know, everybody in our community has an uncle that cuts lawns. They got 2 lawnmowers and a truck. But that lawnmower may need some work. You may need a ride along, but you're willing to go get a $600 a month car note to ride in a new Suburban, but not go get that lawnmower. So you have to make a decision as an entrepreneur whether you want to have a business or a business. And then my last thing, what I'll say is, your network is your net worth. What I've learned and what I've had the privilege to growing up in Shaker, working in politics for as long as have done, working with people from the White House. I go to the Union Club. I also end up in Ward 5 with Richard Starr as community center. You know, I'm the program coordinator for my Jeep Club. I'm a proud member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Oh, shout out to
Rue. You know, all those things become my network. And my network allows you to do things, and your network allows you to do things that your pocketbook says you can't. The relationships you foster, the bonds you have with people will take you so much further than what you know.
That's very
so your network is your net worth.
Shout out to our network. We got a phenomenal network.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And you know, that's what I'm trying to again, I'll close this like that's why I'm so passionate about the work we do at the Urban League, why I'm so passionate about the young professionals. It's because it's about building a network that can sustain us all and make impactful change.
That's good, bro.
That is good.
That's what's up.
You're the right man in charge, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I'm trying.
You're
doing it.
You're doing it, brother. Yeah. So, okay, and this is the most important question, I feel like, the whole episode. Where can they find you? Where can they learn more about you? Where can they be like, all right, Cal, I need A, Y, and Z.
Got you. So Allison's International is very Googleable. If you need some boxes, please check that out. That's right there in your Google string. Again, Mac Telecommunications and Consulting, again, very Googleable. If you work for a school or a housing project, any type of institution, we do commercial installation of smart boards, televisions, whatever you need us to do. As far as the Urban League goes, the Urban League's website is ulcleveland.org. And I'm going to say it again, ulcleveland.org. All the programs that I mentioned earlier in the episode are right there in the Programs tab. There's another About Us button, and that's where the YP page is. You can log on to there, become a YP member, and it gets you access to all of these resources for free. And we're connecting people all the time. So that's ulcleveland.org. I'm personally available on Instagram at CTJ822. You can't miss me. I got a big gold hat on it with a with a big Omega on it. It's a 4 on there. So CTJ822. And what else do I got? And then I'm on Facebook, Colin Jackson. And please reach out. Listen, if there's anything I can do for anyone, even if it's just giving you a name and a number, I'm happy to do it. Because again, my mission right now is being a convener and a connector, and I want to connect you with opportunities.
Come on. And by the way, for lazy people, It will be in the show notes. So right there, you see the episode you
Oh,
watch
it's a
right
lot
now?
of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, this will be right there so you can look at it. So no excuse as to why you're not calling him up, hitting him up, okay? Yes, bro. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
I knew
this was great.
this. Yeah, I've done this long enough. Like, all right, I know it's gonna be a good one. I knew it was gonna be a good one. And you did not disappoint, my friends. We appreciate you, man.
That's right.
Hey man, I'm happy to be filling up a little bit of space for y'all until 200. I know.
Hey, listen,
I know.
Hey, listen. So we gotta do part 2. We gotta do the part 2 at the Urban League or whatnot. Or whatnot.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Actually, now we gotta. Yeah, we got. Well, yeah, we're gonna talk.
You talk, yeah, we'll talk.
We're
Yeah,
gonna talk. We're gonna do something cool.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Listen, that's a great thing about collaboration and whatnot, right? So yes, okay, guys, we gotta pay some bills. So, Colin, what are you doing April 18th?
Oh man, I'm going to the podcast summit.
See,
I'm going to the podcast summit. I'm going to the podcast summit. I'm so excited to be there. Mr. David Shands. I'm trying to get the Urban League to come be a vendor.
Oh, come on.
I'm soft trying out right now to be an ambassador. But I'm very excited to see people coming together because podcasts are something that are everywhere, and they are like the ultimate expression of entrepreneurship. And we need to be, again, collaborating because there's so much space for us. So that's why I'm gonna be there on the 18th.
And we ain't even paying for that. That was
off guard. All right, then.
That was good. But just like Colin said, guys, just like websites were the thing, like he talked about earlier, for your business, social media is a part of your business. I feel like podcasting is the next wave. How do you differentiate yourself in your field, your industry, your business, your brand? Podcast, right? Mr. David Shands, you're not familiar. He is in the top 5 in the world for Entrepreneur Podcasts, by the way. So he's coming all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, to come to Cleveland, Ohio, and we're going to show him a good time because he's going to show us how to start our own podcast, how to monetize our own podcast, how to create an ecosystem around your podcast, and just so much more. So, guys, April 18th.
There you go.
April 18th, guys. He will be here in the building. We have free tickets for you guys.
Yes.
Free. I said free. And what we need you to do is text podcast on one word to
33777.
yes, pretty much. Guys, because I think right now we have 20 tickets left, and you're gonna get those tickets before they're all gone. Because
absolutely,
with a free event, that's gonna happen, right? And then next up,
make sure you guys tune into my podcast, Beauty Told. So again, give you guys weekly episodes. We're either talking relational, we're either talking lifestyle or financial. And again, having great guests on from time to time. Might even have to have you on. So that way we can take those topics, expound on them. And again, the overall goal is that you guys will have a positive change. You can learn from us. You can grow from us. So let's do it. And I can't wait to see you there.
I hit that one time. And then lastly, guys, I want to thank you. Yes, you, the person watching, and the person listening, because, guys, the podcast is growing. And like I said last episode, I do a lot of research, and one of the things I research is that what we're doing here, the Pull-Up Experience, as far as the viewership, the subscribers, is unnatural, which is showing us, once again, the need and the want for hearing great stories like Colin's is needed. So you guys are showing us that. So I thank you guys. We don't take it for granted you guys are liking, you guys are subscribing, you guys are sharing the content because, once again, it's needed.
Yeah,
So we just want to thank you guys, and we don't take that for granted. So, guys, 198. 2 away from 200. I feel like we hitting LeBron numbers and whatnot, you know?
That's right.
They statistics say most podcasts don't make it past episode 10. We have done that time and time again, over again. We're going to keep going because we have some great stories yet to come, okay?
Yep.
So y'all just keep watching, okay? So episode 198, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.